Joining me now, Sara Azari, criminal trial attorney and NewsNation legal analyst. And you can also check out Sara's crime podcast, The Presumption, on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Sara, thank you for being here. So we've got 3 conspiracy, 1 obstruction charge. Let's talk about the 4 counts and how this is different, this January 6th indictment from, for instance, the documents case, the classified documents case in Florida.
Yeah, good to be with you, Marni. It's very different. I think it's more defensible for Trump. I think Trump here is going to say, I had First Amendment rights to call this a big lie. More importantly, I was relying on the advice of counsel. In the document case, even though it's more complex in terms of the classified nature of the documents, it'll take longer. There's lawyers that are testifying against him because the attorney-client privilege is gone. It's a very straightforward case in terms of proof. It's enough that he retained documents when he left the office and that he was caught in text messages, surveillance, et cetera, people on his behalf, moving around these boxes and obstructing justice when he should have turned over these documents. Here, Marni, we're dealing with intent. It's not enough that he knew that the lie was a big lie. He had to have intent, and the prosecutors have to prove that he had intent to deceive and to defraud the United States, among other things. So whenever we talk about intent, we're talking about getting into somebody's head. And so we have to look to circumstantial testimony and evidence to be able to prove that. I think that's where this becomes more defensible for him than the document case.
Right. And the word knowingly appears multiple times throughout the 45-page document. January 6th charge, which one of these 4, the 3 conspiracy or the obstruction, will be the hardest to prove? Count 4, I understand, could be a little bit more sticky.
Yeah, because count 4 has to do with infringing on the rights of 8.1 million voters who voted for Biden, right? And that the goal of the conspiracy as to count 4 was to infringe on these constitutional rights to vote. Well, Trump that was not the goal for Trump. The goal for Trump was to stay in office, to stay in power and retain power. And so I think, to me, that is probably the murkier charge of the 4.
Let's talk about these co-conspirators. 5 of the 6 that were named, Rudy Giuliani among them. Could they flip? What extra complication might they add in a case like this? And are you surprised that we aren't seeing an indictment against any of them at this point?
Well, Marni, to me, what stood out was that it refers to these 6 co-conspirators. It does not say unindicted or indicted co-conspirators. So we don't know. They could be, part of sealed indictments. They could have already flipped against the president, or they might flip in the future. But I think anytime you have this many co-conspirators in any case, the exposure goes up. It's more likely that people will flip because they want to help themselves, especially if they're lawyers, because lawyers have a lot more to lose. I mean, not to say we're better than other citizens, but, we can't practice law, for example. So I think that it is very likely that people have already flipped on him, and if they haven't, they will.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.